opportunity to help serve our community. And like the airplanes, I'm going to show you our emergency exit. We have one here, we have one out front, and the bathroom is that way.
One, two.
Thank you.
Thank you. And good evening, this is Mike Loud for KJS Radio News, coming to you tonight with a special broadcast wherever you're at here in Jasper County. We appreciate you for tuning in and for being with us tonight. A few weeks ago we learned that the Jasper County Republican Club, Jasper County Republican Women's Club, was going to have a forum, and we praise these great ladies of Jasper County and the Republican Party for putting together this forum. A forum is a great thing, and it's something that the people of Jasper County deserve. They deserve to know the candidates and what their stands are and what they're for and what they're against. And we appreciate the Jasper County Republican women for doing that. Right now we have 72 degrees here in Jasper. Winds are out of the northwest at about 10 miles per hour. So it's a warm night here in Jasper. And we have with us Darla DeLome, who is the president of the Jasper County Women's Women's Club, and we are at USA Packing and Shipping. It's a new business here located on Kelly Street. I've had, since we started doing these stories, I don't know how many people ask me, where is Kelly Street? Well, we're at the end of Main Street, okay? It's a very short street, possibly the shortest street in Jasper, that is just at the end of Main Street. And Darla is going to come forth now, and she's going to kind of tell us what the rules are going to be tonight. Darla, are the candidates going to be, she says that Mary Ann Butler, who is her assistant, is going to do that. And Mary Ann, could you tell us what the rules are going to be here tonight, if there are any?
Well, it's actually a very informal meeting. It's a platform that we put together just to give the candidates here in Jasper County an opportunity to present their platform to the public, so that everyone knows what it is that they stand for, so we can have much more informed voters. So it's going to be very informal. We're going to go basically by the ballot and have each candidate speak on their platform.
Okay. So you've heard the rules here as they are outlined by the Republican Women's Association. And who is going to be, how are we going to determine who is going to be the first to speak?
So we've decided to go in an inverse order than what we did this at Buna. And Linda Gibbs spoke first, so we decided we would go in an inverse order, and we'll have the JP2 candidates speak first. So that would be Jimmy Miller, if he's here. Yes, wonderful.
And let me say to all of you candidates that you can sit at the desk, or you can take the mic there, whichever you feel more happy doing.
Good evening. My name is Jimmy Miller, and I have been working for Jasper County for 19 years, and I've tried to do service for the community my whole life. I'm running for Justice of the Peace, Precinct 2, and if elected, I plan to apply the law fairly and compassionately as I can. I'm just going to try to do the best and help everybody. I want to do service for the community, and I want to help people. Thank you, and I'd appreciate your support and your vote.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Question.
We're just going to hold our questions for the end of the forum. That way everyone can get a chance to speak, and then everyone can ask questions.
Gotcha.
Thank you. So our next Justice of the Peace Precinct 2 candidate would be Joe Hawthorne.
Right here.
Start off by thanking y'all for hosting this tonight. Thanks to Mike for broadcasting live on the radio like in the manner he does so well. Name's Joe Hawthorne, running for Justice of the Peace, Precinct 2. As a Republican, my wife, married Cindy Durham Hawthorne. lot of y'all know her. My work history is over 30 years in criminal justice. At the county level in juvenile probation in Jefferson County, at the state level, at the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, and with the Department of Justice in the Federal Bureau of Prisons. I've held several increasing responsibility positions, captain, disciplinary hearing officer, counselor, lieutenant. In those positions, leadership and management is necessary. It's something that I've learned, I've practiced throughout my career, and it's something I'll continue to do if elected to this position. I have a lot of experience dealing with cultural diversity. I've worked with people from all over the world on the good side and the bad side. Cubans, Latinos, people from Arabic countries, all over, different religions, all of the religions you can imagine. I've dealt with it. I'm familiar with it. In my professional career, I've had a lot of important decisions to make. Sometimes those decisions involve life safety issues. It's not anything anybody ever wants to do, but you have to do, and it's not a problem for me to make decisions that affect everyone's life, because the person that's coming to see the JP, you're affecting their life one way or the other, and you have to do it, positive or negative. You have to do it. You have to be able to make that decision. Some of those areas that are important, and none are more important than others. I don't need to sound like it's not, but swearing out warrants for law enforcement officials is not something to be taken lightly. And also arraigning prisoners at the jail, setting bonds. That's not something that to take lightly. That affects all of us in our daily lives, whether you see it or not. If mistakes are made, and I'll do the best I can not to make those mistakes. I will work a full-time, 40-hour week. I will not be part-time. I see it as a job, as a second career. Retired once, I want to retire again. I'm only 51 years old. So, my wife wants me out of the house more. So I appreciate the opportunity. I ask for everybody's support. Thanks for coming out tonight.
Thank you, Joe. Next, we're going to hear from our candidates from for Justice of the Peace Precinct 1. First candidate would be Ronnie Billingsley.
I tell you what, I'm gonna choose to stand if that's all right. If you think I'm short standing here, you ought to see me when I sit. So I'm gonna choose to stand. It has been an honor and certainly a privilege for me to have served as Justice of the Peace in Precinct 1 for as long as I have. I've been in office since January 1, 1995. And I guess if you say it real fast, it don't seem like it's that long, but it's been 23 plus years. And I'll tell you, the Justice of the Peace Court, Justice Court has evolved so much in the past 23 years until it's just unbelievable. It seems like JP courts kind of catch everything that trickles down. When I first took office, we were still using the docket book. We didn't even have a computer, let alone a cell phone. So we've kind of evolved with the court system. And it's been a learning experience, and we're still learning. Fortunately, I've got over 600 hours of continuing education and pretty well versed in the justice court law. And as I say, it's evolving all the time. We catch everything that comes down that it seems like every other court doesn't want to deal with. Fortunately, I'm absolutely not burnt out on my job. I still enjoy going and doing the things that I do at the courthouse, at the jail, my administrative job, all those types of things. I look forward to doing them. I look forward to serving. I know many people in my precinct. It seems like they all know me. If you don't think so, just let me go to Walmart or Brooks Brothers and follow me around for just a little while. But it's been a pleasure serving. I've lived in Jasper all my life. I want to retire from this job. I'm just not quite there yet. And I'm asking you for your support, again, for Justice of the Peace in Precinct 1. I'm asking for your vote. Number 2 on the Republican ballot. I would appreciate it very much. And if you have a question, I look forward to answering that. And I thank you very much. And especially thank you to the Republican women for this venue for us to get up and let the people find out who we are. And thank you, Mike, for covering this. Thank you very much.
So our next candidate running for Justice of the Peace Precinct 1 is Jillian Whittington.
Hello and good evening. Thank y'all again for doing this and for everybody out there listening. I know a lot of people may or may not know me by Jillian Whittington. That is my married name. I was Jillian Robinson. I'm a graduate of Jasper. I've always been one to have a servant's heart, and God really put it on my heart to run for this position. I'm currently in school right now for criminal justice. I've done a lot of research. I've really taken the time to see where in our county I can really do the best service for our county, and honestly I think JP is where it is. So if anybody has any questions for me, I really appreciate the opportunity to speak. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to run. I really love this country. I love this county. And I want to do what I can to make sure everybody has their fair say, their rights heard, and to know what it is that our Constitution actually stands for and what you can do to better your life and the lives of our children in our community.
Thank you.
So, thank y'all very much.
Next, we'll hear from the candidate for County Treasurer, Renee Kelly Ellis.
Good evening. My name is Renee Kelly Ellis, and I'm honored to announce my candidacy for re-election of the office of the County Treasurer. I have worked in the County Treasurer's office for the last 19 years, and I'm proudly serving as your treasurer. Been serving it for the last 11 years. The County Treasurer is the custodian of all county funds and serves as the Chief Investment Officer. The other duties of the County Treasurer's office include payroll, human resources, employee benefits, and risk management. My platform is my experience, knowledge, integrity, honesty, love of mankind, and a vision to move forward for the future of the citizens of Jasper County. I'm a resident of Jasper, a 1986 graduate of Kirbyville High School. I attended Angelina College, and I'm a member of Leadership Southeast Texas Class of 2014. Currently, I serve as president of the Region 10 Treasurers Association. I'm the treasurer for the Women's Civic Club of Jasper, member of Christus Southeast Texas Employer Advisory Board, the National Rifle Association, Jasper Lake Sam Rayburn Area Chamber of Commerce, First United Methodist Church of Jasper, and the Republican Party. I'm married to Ken and Ellis. We have 2 daughters, Catherine and Katie. I would really appreciate your vote, and God bless. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we'll hear for the candidate for County Clerk, Debbie Newman.
Thank you for having us here tonight. We certainly do appreciate it. My name is Debbie Newman. I've been your county clerk for the past 19 years. Also your election administrator and voter registrar. Our job consists of what I say is the hub of the courthouse. I have 10 wonderful women that work with me, not for me. We work as a family. And we issue your marriage license, your death certificates, your birth certificates. We record your deeds, and on occasion we record your misdemeanor criminal. And Kathy Billingsley's here tonight, and she is one of my chief deputies on that. I have enjoyed my job and I would like to continue to be your county clerk. Serving the people of Jasper has been important to me, and I want to make sure that the women that work in my office continue to have a job. And Mike, we certainly do appreciate you for everything you do and have done throughout the years. And I thank y'all very much.
Thank you. Our next candidate that we will hear from is Keith Stanley, who's running for Criminal District Attorney.
Well, I will join everyone else in saying thank you for having this, Marianne, Ken, and Darla. Most of the people here in Jasper may or may not know me, but I'm actually from Buna, born and raised in Buna, and have practiced law for almost 20 years. But I grew up in Buna. I've actually had family in East Texas for almost 200 years, and in Jasper County for 150 years almost. Buna and Jasper County's home. It's kind of a joke that I call it the promised land, and I truly believe that. I truly mean that. I love being here. I love being from here. And one of the big problems that we have here currently is a drug and crime problem that I'll talk about in a minute, and that's why I'm running. But just professionally, to understand who I am and what I'm about, I went from kindergarten through high school in Buna. Attended Lamar University after that, and then worked for a couple of years before going to law school in Fort Worth, to Texas Wesleyan University, which is now A&M, which is killing me since I'm a Longhorn fan. And it is on my wall, though, which still drives me crazy. But in any event, I've been practicing law for about 20 years. Before that, becoming an attorney, I worked as a paralegal and investigator for 10 years. And so I have been in the legal field for almost 30 years. I've done pretty much everything. I've seen pretty much everything. I've done all kinds of law, criminal, civil, you name it, I've seen it. I've also handled cases at various levels. We have a couple of justices of the peace. I've handled and tried cases there through county courts, district courts, and argued several times on appeal. So I've seen everything, and I've also handled federal court cases. So I have a wide breadth of experience coming into this. On top of that, I am running as a Republican, and the reason I'm running as a Republican is because I am one. I've been one for a long time. I am the only Jasper County member of the Republican National Lawyers Association. I've been one for almost 20 years. To my knowledge, I'm still the only one. In this election, I've been endorsed by both the Deep East Texas Tea Party, the Southeast Texas Tea Party, a former state Republican chairman, and have been endorsed by numerous other Republicans, both former officials and current officials. So my conservative credentials are unmatched pretty much by anybody. The reason I'm running, though, is, and I know we have a video here for the radio, it doesn't help you, but I know I look like I'm 12. I'm not. I am 49, and I have 3 grandchildren. And the reason that I'm running is the drug and crime problem that I mentioned earlier. We have a horrendous drug problem here in Jasper County, and it's not just limited to one particular area. In Buna, we have a horrible spot, but every community has horrible spots that need to be addressed. And I want to make sure that when I say that, I'm not saying that anybody here is not doing the best they can. The sheriff, the police chiefs, the current DAs, the courts, everybody is doing what they can do. But the problem is growing faster than our ability to keep up with it. And we've handled it the same way we've handled it, the way we've always handled it. But kind of going back to Jasper County being the promised land, I've always considered living here kind of like living in Mayberry. It was a slow-paced life. We enjoyed it. Everything was fine. Well, at some point, really probably in the mid-1990s, we got overrun with a New York City size problem of drugs, and it has grown exponentially since then. We're still trying to handle it in the same way that we've always handled it because that's the only way we know how to handle it. Well, with the experience that I have, the diverse amount of experience I have, I've also handled cases not just here regionally, but around the state, around the country, and around the world. I have exposure and experience doing things a different way. And so what I think we need to do is try a different way to do that. I have a 10-point plan that hopefully everyone has seen. If not, I'll just hit kind of the high points of it and not bore you with it. But the 3 main things of that plan is, number 1, to increase our asset forfeitures when we do arrest. And I know to some people in the population who I've talked to through this election, some people have a problem with that. Well, what I can tell you is that's what the law allows at this point. To me, the benefit is twofold. Number 1, it takes the tools of crime away from the criminals. If you arrest somebody and take their money and car, when they get out of jail, it's going to be harder for them to do what they were doing to start with. If you give it back to them, they can go back to business as usual. So I want to do that, number 1. The second thing is called safety zones, and I've talked to several people about that. But essentially what that is, since I've got grandkids, I can tell you it's kind of like a timeout for the bad guys. We're going to go to the high crime areas and identify those areas as high crime areas. We will file civil cases against them to get an injunction, a restraining order that says basically they can't do certain things. For example, they will have a curfew, have to be inside their house. They can't associate with one another. This is not something that applies to everybody within this particular area. It applies only to what I call the frequent flyers, the people who are being a continuous nuisance to all of us. And it puts them under tighter restrictions based on their past behavior. And then finally, probably the biggest thing is trying to increase our trials. Jasper County, a lot of people doesn't understand, we have two judges. Judge Gibbs, who's here tonight, and Judge Mixon. Between them, they sit in 5 counties. So they're not up here in Jasper every day dealing with criminal, civil, or any other cases. On top of sitting in those 5 counties, they also handle other cases, not just criminal, but they handle divorces. They handle civil lawsuits. So we have to find a way to expand how we can get the criminal cases in front of them. At current, I think we get about 10 trial weeks a year criminally in Jasper County. For whatever reason, we're lucky to get enough jury people to come to serve on a jury, to pick one jury during that time period. So we need to find another way to get this done. And what I've come up with is kind of a 3-pronged plan to do that. Number one is to set multiple cases on each jury week, criminal jury week, so that, for example, you have 10 cases set, so the first case goes away, then number 2 is up, and we're not wasting that week. The second thing to do is we also have civil weeks, where those cases are set aside for civil cases, not criminal cases. Well, I want to set the criminal cases subject to those civil cases because, as you might imagine, Jasper County is not a hotbed of civil litigation, so a lot of those weeks go by unused. We're still sending the jury notices out, we're still spending the money, so let's take advantage of it and put the criminal cases there if there are no civil cases. But then for the bigger cases, the more serious ones, the sex offenders, the murders, where we have a lot of evidence, a lot of witnesses are coming, we need to set aside special trial settings, and both of our judges have been very good about saying they will make the settings available to us. So I think with all of that, what we can try to do is make the system more efficient, more aggressive, and that's really what it comes down to. When I go home at night, 2 of my 3 grandchildren live with me. I see those 2 little faces, 7 years old and 4 years old. When they walk out the door, I don't want to have to worry about what's going to happen to them when they leave. So I don't want to say I'm on a mission from God, because I don't think that's what it is, but I do have a vested interest in making sure that this is done, and that this is done as aggressively and correctly as possible. And so for that reason, that's why I've thrown my hat in the ring to be your district attorney, and I would ask for your vote and your support.
Thank you, Keith. We also have our county judge, Mark Allen. He'll come up and share with us. In here? Is he here? He's not here? Who's here?
Roy Parker's here.
I'm sorry.
Roy, and then Raymond just came in.
They're both running for precinct. He commissioned the precinct, now for precinct 12 years.
Okay.
And he's.
Oh, okay. I thought somebody said Mark Allen was here. Okay, so next we'll hear from Raymond Hopson, running for Commissioner Precinct 2.
Well, I got here just in a minute.
Yeah, didn't you?
They were trying to tell me I had what stuff I needed to sign.
And if you prefer to stand, you can stand. It's either, or we have the mic here, or we have the city.
I won't need a mic. You can probably hear me. I ain't never
Well,
been too
it's
short
on-
on words.
It's on air, so.
Okay. All right. Raymond Hopson, born and raised here in Jasper. I'm running for Precinct 2 County Commissioner. First of all, I want to tell you there's a lot of things that I'm going to have to learn, and a lot of things somebody's going to have to show me. And if I'm fortunate enough to be elected, I know there's at least one person that's going to kind of have to help me along here in the months to come. Anybody that knows me knows that whatever I'm doing, I work hard at it. If there's a problem, I will do my dead level best to take care of it. I'll do what I can for the citizens of that precinct and the citizens of the state of Texas and the United States, as long as they're ethical and they are lawful. I want to be a service to our county, not just at one precinct. I want to be here for the good and the betterment of our community, because I think it goes without saying, we need some energy. We've got some revitalization to do that we've been working on with the downtown project. I've worked really hard with the city. I've been on the city council 6 years. And it's coming along. It's slow. But I will tell you this, our Jasper County Child Welfare Board is hurting. And it's hurting real bad. When we had almost close to 200 children removed last year, compared to less than 50 the year before, we're going to be asking in the community, and we're going to be asking each and every one of you that is an elected official to step up and see if we can't get something for the children of this community and the communities that some of them are going to. And with that, I'll say I'm here for you. I'll do my best. I've never done anything but my best as far as I'm concerned. I've come up a little short sometimes, but we all do. And I appreciate tonight. I appreciate Mike. I thank y'all very much.
Thank you. Okay. And so our next candidate is Mr. Roy Parker, Commissioner, Precinct 2.
I took care of you.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Fine, and I want to thank y'all for letting us be able to come up here and share. And I just want to thank all y'all for being able to hear and just kind of listen to some of the things that we have here. And I'm Roy Parker, Commissioner, Precinct 2, and I've been Commissioner for 12 years. I just want to thank the citizens of Jasper County for letting me to serve them. It's a service role there, and I've been serving, and I want to thank them, and I want to thank for being able to serve there, and then also the opportunity we have to well, I'm gonna have to settle down a little bit, I think. No, but it is good to be here, and like I said before, this is a service role here, and that's what we're doing, and I want to thank God for letting me be a part of this, and for Him giving us guidance and direction for not only Precinct 2 but for Jasper County, because decisions I make up there at the court don't just affect Precinct 2. It affects everyone in Jasper County, and I'm a part of different focuses of Jasper County and in different areas, like the mutual aid program, you know, and we go down from Evadale up to Buna up to, you know, here in Jasper and Tri-Community and Newton and in other areas, just kind of trying to network with each other, because when there are disasters, that they'll be able to communicate and talk with each and every one and kind of put a face to something. So, you know, I've been on that, been on the LEPC. That's another program that we have. It's a local emergency management program, and we we'll meet and try to plan things out if something happens, what we need to do. Another thing that I was going to share was that we've since 2015, we've had 5 national disaster declarations, and all of them are tied in with flooding, and we've had a lot of flooding in our area. And now on Harvey, we didn't get as much as they did in Beaumont, and I thank the Lord for that. But the other times we've had several floods up here that washed roads out and did some things. So FEMA comes in, and one thing about the floods and things, as a county, it takes $120,000 for us to meet a threshold to go. But as a state, it takes $35 million to meet a threshold to get federal funds to come in. And it's like if a tornado comes through Dallas and does $30 million worth of damage, and it goes through Arkansas and it does $10 million worth of damage. We don't get funding because there's only 30 and it takes 35, but Arkansas, they get funding for 5.5 million and they had $10 million damage. So the feds will come in and help them where we're not, and not us. So, and we've been taking advantage of a lot of these things when the feds have come in to make it, improve our roads somewhat. The way I look at it, you got to jump through some hoops with them, but sometimes it's worth it. You got to just look, sometimes it's not. And the thing that I feel like we do on that is they will reimburse the 25% if you go through their direction that they put on that. And we've got to do the work anyway, so it's worthwhile to go ahead and do it right. The documentation, the pictures, my crew and stuff, when they go out, I get them to send pictures to us, and we take them, and each road's got its own file, and I can bring it up, and then when FEMA comes in, we're able to show them that, and that's how we get reimbursed for that, and so I think them are good things. I've kind of got a little bit difference in my opinion when I first come here about FEMA projects and stuff, and one of the things that I thought, is, well, that's our taxpayers' dollars enough, but they got a pot out there that they're going to fund, and if you don't take it, Polk County will take it, or Walker County, or Tyler County, they'll take that and utilize it. So I think we get a bigger bang for our buck here, that we'll be able to go out there and reach and get these funds and that are available there. And one of the things that we've accomplished here is that I'm proud of is our annex building over there. It's $5.1 million worth of funds. It didn't cost the local taxpayers here. And, I just think that is a great thing, an accomplishment, and we utilize it for a lot of things now. And, the offices that we have over there, and so I'm real proud of that. I'm thankful for my wife and her support for me, and then I've got 2 children, and her name is Laura, so and I appreciate her. And I've got 2 children, Jessie, and she's married to Henry Tapia, and they got a little girl named Lucy. And then I got Josie, and he's married to Courtney, and they got a little boy named Jackson, and they have helped me and supported me in this. And then I've got a sister-in-law, Dorothy Parker. She's done great for me, and then my mother. You can't leave your mom out, because they're the ones that pull you through these things, and I thank her for her and what she does here. I want to thank the opportunity we have to serve you in our area, dealing with our I want to thank our crew that we have. Precinct 2 wouldn't be what it was without our crew. And I'm indebted to them for what they do, because I can't be everywhere. But they are my arms and fingers, and we work together. I'm out there working with them. Not every time, but there's a lot of times. And there's times on Saturday I might go out and not even call them. I wouldn't ask them to do something that I wouldn't do. And I've had people say, what are you doing out here on Saturday? And the road needed sweeping, so we did some chip and seal, and so I'll be out there. And them are things that I take my job serious. I'm there every day. If you call me and leave a message or get a hold to me, I'll call you back if I don't get out there. I'll return all my calls, and I think it's important, because one of the things I had on my sign going up was working with the people for the people. And that's a fundamental fact, and that I try to focus on, and still today I focus with that. I want to thank all the elected officials that are here that we work with already, and all the employees of the county. They're special people, and I just want to thank them. And I just want to thank y'all again for the opportunity for me to come and speak here. Thank you and Mike and them, and I just ask for your prayers and your support, and I'm gonna ask you for your vote too, because if you don't ask for it, you ain't gonna get it, you know. And I sure appreciate it, and thank y'all for being patient with me here.
Thank you. So next we'll hear from the candidates who are running for Judicial District 1A District Judge. The first will be Dennis Horne, also known as Dennis Dan Horne.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As I say, my name's Dennis Horne. Some people know me as Dan. I grew up in Kirbyville, graduated from there, briefly attended Stephen F. Austin University before I decided money now was more important than education. Took a job in a chemical plant, worked there for a while, and it was a secure job with good benefits. But an opportunity came up to open my own business, so I left there and got into collision repair for 15 years. And after beating on cars for 15 years, I finally came to the conclusion it might be better to make money with your mind instead of with your back. So I re-entered college, got my degree, and then went to law school, and came back to Kirbyville in 2002, and preferably hung out my own shingle. I didn't have anybody standing there as a mentor to take me under their wing to show me the ropes. I just had to go out there and learn it on my own. As such, I practiced about everything that came along in civil and criminal law. I've dealt with misdemeanors all the way up to capital felonies, and practiced before the Court of Appeals in Beaumont and the Court of Criminal Appeals in Austin. I believe it's the duty of the district judge to follow the laws as written and to render decisions accordingly. Personal biases and agendas and opinions have no basis in any decisions that are rendered. I believe we should run the court efficiently and start business on time and take care of business efficiently and expeditiously. And business that should take a day and a half should be drug out for 2 and 3 days. When you get up there and get it done and move on, that will help move everything along. I would like to ask for your vote, and I would like the opportunity to bring this blue-collar experience and common sense experience to the bench. I would ask for your vote in your support. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And next we'll hear from Delinda Gibbs Walker.
Well, thank you. Thank y'all for coming and being a part of this. I want to thank Mike for putting this on the air, and the ladies. Y'all are amazing. I know that this was a lot of hard work, and so we appreciate it. I guess I'm the last one to speak, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, so I'll take the longest. I'll try not to. I would like to introduce myself to those of you. I think I know everyone in the room, but there's probably people on the radio that may not know me. My name is Delinda Gibbs Walker, and my first name is spelled with starts with a D, as in delightful. D-E-L-I-N-D-A, Gibbs Walker. I'm currently your district judge. I serve 3 counties. I'm what you call a multi-county general jurisdiction district judge. That's really kind of a fancy way of saying that I serve multiple counties and I do a lot of different things. The district judge's position that I serve, or in the capacity that I serve in, is Jasper County and Tyler County and Newton County. I serve in Jasper and Newton County with a friend of mine, Judge Craig Mixon. We have what you call concurrent jurisdiction over those 2 counties. And so I serve there, and then I serve in Tyler County with another friend, Judge Earl Stover. And we have concurrent jurisdiction in Tyler County. So what we do, I will tell you that there are 3 basic areas of law that I preside over, and those are civil, criminal, and family law. I probably spend the majority of my time doing family law cases. The civil part, you know what that is. It's where people sue one another. And so I preside over those cases. But that really is, I know Keith Stanley just mentioned it a while ago, that's really probably the least amount of work that we have in front of us. What we really do the most is family law. And family law, excuse me, entails anything from, well, it has really to do with families, obviously, but it's divorces, child custody, original suits affecting parent-child relationship, terminations of parental rights, adoptions, anything having to do with children, just their custody, division of community property estates, stuff like that. It's just all family law. And then we have the criminal docket. Well, the criminal docket, it probably runs a pretty close second to the family, but it is probably less time. The criminal dockets that we have are anything from state jail felonies all the way up to capital murder. And we have dockets in all 3 counties. I do Craig serves 4 counties and Judge Stover serves 2 counties. But anyway, the 3 counties that I have, we have regular docket calls every month. We have motion to revoke dockets. We have adjudication dockets. I have actually sat juries and tried presided over cases from, I guess, burglary of buildings, aggravated sexual assaults of children. I have tried or presided over drug-related cases, murder cases. I had actually a horrible case over in Tyler County that I transferred venue on to Bryan, and that was a capital murder case. So I presided over that case. It was about a 2-week-long trial. So, so there's a lot of criminal in my criminal docket that I have to take care of. You know, I think that one thing that's important when you're looking at a district judge is what sort of experience do they have. I graduated high school in Jasper, Texas in 1983, and I went from Jasper High School straight to college. I went to Stephen F. Austin State University, and whenever I graduated from college and I went to Stephen F., I was able to go to work for a man by the name of Joe Tonnehill, and he was a lawyer here in Jasper, and he was a world-renowned lawyer. And I went to work for Mr. Tonnehill, and I worked my way through college working for him. I worked every summer, Christmas, and spring break. I never took a day off. And then while I was in college, I was what you call a work-study student. I'm not from a wealthy family. My parents were quite poor. I didn't know it at the time, but they were, you know, we didn't have a lot of money. My dad was a bivocational pastor. He was a motor grader operator for Precinct 1 here in Jasper, and he was a preacher. And I was raised with the values that you know, you mind your parents, you mind your teachers, you go to school, you do what you're told, and you get your grades, and you love the Lord, and you live like that. And that's what I did. I did that when I went to college. I graduated and earned 2 degrees at the end of the 5 years that took me to get through school because of all the work. But I earned 2 degrees. I earned a degree in psychology, and I earned a degree in criminal justice. A lot of the psychology stuff that I learned, a lot of it had to do with children and child development. So that's important in what I do now. And the criminal justice degree is also helpful. I left college and I went straight to law school. I graduated there in 3 years. I worked for a personal injury law firm when I was in law school, And I graduated in 3 years, took the bar, passed the bar, and I was fortunate enough to be offered a clerkship with a federal judge in Jefferson County. It's actually Beaumont, but the federal clerkship that I had was with Judge Fisher, and I sat on the bench with him, and I wrote opinions for him, and it was an amazing experience. And at the end of my tenure with Judge Fisher, Mr. Tonnehill came back to me and he offered me a job, and he wanted me to come back here. And the thing that was amazing about that is that Mr. Tonnehill, who was a world-renowned lawyer, he knew me. He knew my work ethic, he knew my character, he knew my abilities, and he offered me a job, so of course I took it. And I came back to Jasper, and I worked for him for a while as an attorney in civil practice. And then I opened my own private practice. And I had a thriving family law practice. For 20 years, I worked as a private attorney for people in family law. During that time, I also prosecuted. I was a prosecutor in both Tyler County and Jasper County. I was a prosecutor in Jasper County for some of the worst years of our history, in my opinion. And because of that, I experienced everything in that district attorney's office from, I tried everything from seatbelt tickets all the way up to murder cases, and handled a lot of things in that district attorney's office that I wouldn't necessarily have gotten to do as an assistant DA, but I was, you know, I was called upon to do it because of some of the hard times we were going through at that time. And so I took care of grand jury and all sorts of things. But suffice it to say this, I have practiced intimately each and every one of the areas of law that I preside over. I am very qualified, I believe, for the job that I hold. I am endorsed by many of the law enforcement agencies and all the law enforcement agencies that have one, I believe, and many of the law enforcement officers throughout the 3 counties that I serve. I've been endorsed by the hard-working men and women of the union. So it's a broad spectrum of endorsement and support. I've been endorsed by the Jasper County Sheriff's Office Association. I've been endorsed by the Tyler County Sheriff's Officers Association, by the by the Kirbyville Police Department, and many others. But you know, I'm just going to say this: God forbid you ever have a problem with a grandchild or a child, whereby you have to worry about what's going to happen with that kid. You know, are they going to have to go for visitation? Are they going to have to who's going to get custody of my child, my grandchild? I'm going to tell you, if you ever have a situation where you're worried about a child or grandchild and you walk in a courtroom, the person that is going to be making that decision about that child needs to be somebody who you know is qualified, who's compassionate, who has the experience, the education, and the character to be able to handle that. I'm not just a judge. I'm not just a lawyer. I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother. There's a lot more to me than just my job. And so I would ask you that as you're going about your voting, I know that today was early voting, so if you haven't voted, I'm asking you to go to the polls, and possibly if you don't know me before you do, talk to some of your law enforcement friends. If you have a friend that's in law enforcement, ask them. If you know somebody that works with me on a daily basis, that comes into contact with me and knows me and knows my character, I ask you to ask that person before you go vote, because I believe I know what that answer is going to be, because I know how I live, and I know what goes on up at the courthouses that I serve in, and I've enjoyed serving the citizens of the 3 counties that I serve, and I'm asking for your support and for your vote. And I want to again thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for letting us come here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're gonna have we have one question that was in the question bowl, but after that question, whoever it's directed at, if they will come up to this microphone here so that the radio people can hear how you answer it. She will ask the question, and if you'll come up to the speaker and answer it. And if it's for all of a certain group, each one can come up on their own and answer it the way they see fit. Does that sound? Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. So this question is kind of long. Last couple of weeks, some elected officials are going to office 1 or 2 days a week. The rest of the time, they are working in another county entity, some in their own precinct they were elected to, drawing another check. Some taxpayers are calling this double dipping. The question is, for all the JPs, are you going to be a full-time or part-time JP? And are you going to try to get another check from taxpayers? Who would like to answer that one first? Yes, sir.
For those of you that are listening, it's Joe Hawthorne speaking. Is it on, Darla?
It's on.
And to answer the question, I will be a full-time JP if given the opportunity. I see it as a service, as a responsibility, and that's what I plan on doing, 40 hours a week at the minimum. Thank you.
This is Jimmy Miller, and if elected, I'm going to give 100% to the JP job. And it will be the only job that I do. And it will take all of my time. I will give everything I can to it. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, if anybody else has a question, if you'll come stand at this mic and ask the question. If you don't, if you have a question you've thought of, you can write it down, and we will say it for you. You don't have to put your name, but if you are okay with coming and speaking into the microphone and letting everybody
see you come up with your question, and then the person that it's directed to will come up and answer.
No more questions? No more questions? Okay. Well, I just want to say, as one of the members of the Jasper County Republican Women's Group, we're just a small club, and we want to invite as many members to come and be involved. As you can tell, it's very informal. I work full-time as a nurse practitioner in Beaumont, so I know that some people think, well, I don't have time, I don't want to, get involved because there's just, I've got work and family and commitments and things like that, and that's understandable. But at the same time, I think we all need to be a part of understanding what goes on in our local government, as well as what goes on in the state government, all the way up to the federal, and you start by getting involved locally. I know Jasper County is a long county and some 30-plus miles, and so it's kind of hard for us to all get together. So, anyone in the northern part of the county, we certainly are interested in, moving our meetings so that everyone can be involved and everyone can be a part of what's going on. Let's see. We appreciate tonight, we appreciate all of you coming who came to speak, because it's nice to put a face to a name for us. And I know all the people out there who are listening very much appreciate hearing what you all had to say. We sure do thank Mike and KJAS for broadcasting this so that everyone can be heard. And we thank USA for letting us use their building here. It's a very nice building, and we'll certainly take them up on their offer to use it again. Again, thank you to all the candidates who came and who presented, and all of you who are in attendance tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
Forum from the USA Packing and Shipping, located at the end of Milam Street at Kelly Street here in Jasper. This program tonight was broadcast on Raven Broadcasting Company, KJS Jasper, KFAH Pilot, and KJS.com. And it was put together by the Jasper County Republicans Women Association. Good evening, this is Mike Loud.